Good morning. We're here at Bases at the Hilton with Philip Courtois.
Right.
Hi, welcome. It's so great to have you here today. How are you doing?
Well, I've been up for like 36 hours.
You've been up for 36 hours?
Yeah.
Why?
Um, it was kind of rough last night. Couldn't sleep. Then got up early.
Okay,
So,
if you
so
don't mind, I'm going to have to ask you to speak up just because we didn't know you were coming today. So we don't have all of our technical equipment, but we do appreciate you coming at the last minute.
no
It
problem.
Bases at the Hilton. So you didn't sleep good last night?
No, no. I was just rubbing your back.
Oh, okay. So, Phil, what do you do for a living?
I do ultrasonic testing, um, X-ray testing. I do calibration work on precise measurement tools, and I'm just a quality inspector.
Okay. How long have you been doing that for?
Um, Inspection?
Yeah.
Well, I started inspection work at 19.
Okay.
Um, Off and on, I probably have been in the inspection side of manufacturing for about 20 years.
Okay. So 20 years.
Not quite, but
And so you do ultrasonic testing, you said?
yeah.
Okay. So you understand waves and.
Yep, waveform, wave function, half wave.
And I also believe you do X ray as well, right?
Yes.
Would that be the gamma rays or
Nope.
no?
Nope. Only X-rays.
Only
Gamma rays are
X-rays.
a different form of wave.
Okay. That's more of like the microwaves,
It's
right?
a different type of radiation.
Okay. Okay, so that's great. So you're pretty much a science, numbers type of person, right?
I don't really have a background in it. I mean,
Well, I mean, it's what you do.
well, it's not science as much as it's quality.
Okay. Well, I mean, I'm just saying you can do trigonometry to break down the understanding of waves, right?
Well, it's partly trigonometry. It's physics.
Okay. So you do interact with science daily at work,
Yes.
somewhat.
Applications, yes.
Okay. What is reality to you?
Um, it's a word.
Well, reality is what?
It's a word. It's whatever your mind tells you it is.
Okay.
Um,
But I'm asking to you. So to you, it's just a word.
right. Reality is what your person perceives to be around you.
Okay. So perception.
Absolutely.
So science versus consciousness. Um, you'd lean more towards science rather than like the spiritual and the realm that we make matter. Matter doesn't make us. Or would you think that?
Oh, we're biological creatures.
Yeah, so
I
we
mean,
we are.
we have reptilian uh, tendencies, I guess.
Yeah, some more than others.
Yeah. So I
Yeah.
mean, that in and of itself, we are made up of biological um, terrestrial particles.
Okay, but I'm talking about physical reality as we see it. Is physical reality made up of pure consciousness or is it made up of matter
It's made up of matter.
that's physical?
Correct.
Okay. So that's how you look at it.
Yes, that's the only way.
Okay.
Well, because energy cannot be created nor destroyed.
Energy cannot be created.
or destroyed.
Okay.
It just changes form. Potential is everywhere.
Okay. What do you think the biggest threat to humanity is?
Humanity itself.
Humanity itself. Are you worried about AI?
No.
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 Okay. So just to go back, when they did split the atom, and it was the force,
Splitting of the atom released the potential of that atom.
right, which was the force, the two forces. And some people like to think it's good and evil, duality, like everything is dualistic or whatever. But with that being a force and not something that's physical.
But it is physical. Atoms are physical.
No, I'm talking about the force that was.
The nuclear blast.
Right.
Right. What had happened, if I may?
Yeah, of course.
When they split the atom, what it does is it takes an element, the uranium cake, 209, 432, I believe it is. Two different uranium cakes with different type of radiation characteristics. And it takes a stable isotope of it, it makes it instantly unstable, so the electrons get thrown out of whack, and it emits radiation, and those particles hit other atoms and throw them out of whack, which make them radioactive, and it's a chain reaction.
Okay.
It is physical.
It is physical then. Okay. Because some people like to say, like, that. Do you believe in the law of attraction?
The law of attraction? What is that law?
The law of attraction is basically what you focus on is what's going to happen to you. If you do good things, you attract good things. If you do bad things, you attract bad things. If you think negative, negative things happen. If you think good things happen. Kind of that's what the law of attraction pretty much is all about manifestation, and that your thoughts do create your reality. Or is it that just physical choice and circumstance creates reality? Which one would you lean towards?
I'd like to believe in karma.
Okay. So you do believe that there is a universal, some type of...
Universal law?
No, that there is some type of greater consciousness that humans do operate with collectively and individually that does affect the greater good of humanity. No.
I said I'd like to believe in karma. Unfortunately, from my own personal experiences, I'm being compassionate or doing what society feels is the correct thing to do. I found that I tend to get negative consequences.
Okay, you feel you'll do a bunch of great stuff and...
I get shit on in return.
Okay, so you don't foresee karma
Right.
playing itself out.
Right.
I see.
I mean, it's a wonderful concept, and maybe I've done some pretty shitty things in the past that I'm still being paid back for. I don't know.
Well, if you're being persecuted, don't you think that karma is also working for you as well as it's being used against you?
Well, there's other people that walk the streets freely that shouldn't.
I understand. Okay, so we're not going to go that route. Let's see. So you've been awake for a long time.
But I feel okay.
You feel okay. That's
The
good.
medication is working. The patient is responding.
The patient is responding. Good. Now we can start to ask the questions we want to ask. So, would you like to talk about the the propulsion systems?
You really want me to get into propulsion systems?
Yeah.
That's above my clearance level.
No, it's not.
I don't have all the information, and the information I would be able to give you at this point in time is like incomplete. I don't know the atomic weight of the atoms in this material. It's a metallic base. It's not ferromagnetic. It can't be turned into a magnet. In fact,
So, is this an anti-gravitational propulsion system, or
if you could describe anti-gravitational as reverse conductive. I believe conductive is something's attractiveness to metal or electricity.
it's
Metals.
electricity? So, you don't believe that water is being used in like the steam and the electricity being used in the water? It doesn't have anything to do with creating or storing or containing the I don't know if it'd be a particle or whatever it is that you're speaking of. You don't feel like that has to do with.
I'm not sure where they even get this material.
Yeah, that's why I think that possibly it's created with electricity in the water and the spinning. I don't know.
The turbines in the water, the power generating turbines
Yeah,
in the water.
Yeah, power generating whatever.
I don't know, but all you really need to do with that is have a cone, and a hollowed out cone, and you have the electricity aim at the center of the cone. And the cone, the tip is actually made of this material. And as the electricity goes at it, it pulls away, propelling.
So it's almost like a Tesla coil being beamed, but then a force that wants to get away from the
Electricity.
So is it like a EM, like an electric magnetic spectrum where this thing is operating?
It would be almost the opposite of electromagnetic.
Oh, so it'd be like taking a negative battery.
It'd be like having a battery that when you put it in something, it sucks the energy out of it.
Oh.
It's like the reverse of like all elements known.
What are they going to use this for?
Propulsion systems.
For what?
Galaxy transportation.
Oh, like the Tesla?
I don't know why you're stuck on Tesla.
I mean, is that what they're using, or?
Is that what they're using?
Yeah.
This is a DARPA project.
Oh, it's a DARPA project. I know you said that was a rabbit hole.
Got me.
Yep, smart water, not drink.
And actually, it is a government program.
So, now, don't you think this would take people places like black holes, or if it
not
is
at this point.
not at the, but could it
Potentially,
eventually?
if you go in a straight line long enough, I'm sure there's something in the way.
What if they find how to create this metal or whatever, and to create it, because as you said, even just storing it is basically impossible, right?
Storing it isn't so much impossible. What I had said is you couldn't use it as a paint on a vehicle.
Right.
Because it never gets to the liquid form enough to where it is pliable And if you tried rolling it in its hot form, once it dries, it would become too brittle and flake off.
Okay, so how are they using it then? Or is it like a gas?
Well, a thin layer of paint is millimeters thick, if anything, like micro inches thick, versus taking the material and working it into a tool. You can still grind this material. You can still shape this material. Like you can make a car frame out of it,
Yeah.
but you couldn't make a paint out of it.
Okay, so you could make a car frame out of it.
Right.
So you could build off of it.
Right, it's strong enough to build off of, but
It can be a fundamental, but not a.
applicable.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so say X car that's made out of this metal or whatever. Then it's on the road or in space or wherever it is. Now, is this car going to be this negative where it's pushing away the spectrum, or is it?
What do you mean by push away the spectrum?
Because you stated that
It's repelled with electricity.
it's repelled with electricity,
Right.
so it repels electricity.
Yes, it doesn't. It
So is it like a
doesn't accept
protecting shield?
I guess.
So it's like kind of a shield to, okay.
You could use it as a shield, I guess. I mean, you'd have to have it in the exact spot
The exact spot of what?
where a lightning strike would be. You mean?
Oh. Okay. Is that what they're trying to use it for? Is for lightning strikes they're worried about?
No, they're using it as a propulsion system.
What does that mean exactly?
When you propel something,
Yeah.
you're moving it forward. You're
Oh, so are they trying to?
They're trying to make engines out of it. All you need is a cone shape with this material at the end.
Yeah.
You could even have it so much as spin turbines, but when you aim electricity at it, it wants to get away from the electricity.
Oh, so it's like two forces almost.
But
Okay.
repelling each other.
Wow.
Like magnets, if you take two magnets, you put the north to north, it wants to push away.
Right.
That's the same concept.
Do you feel like this will interfere with our personal electromagnetic spectrum with these negative?
No.
No. Okay.
No, only because they're still conducting tests on how the smallest form of life, I think they call it some type of bear. It's a microorganism that can survive in space. It can survive in volcanoes. It can survive in ice.
It's a species we have currently.
Correct.
Okay. It's a type of bear.
Well, it's not an actual bear. It looks like a bear, but it's a microorganism. That's
Oh, okay.
I don't
Gotcha.
remember the name of it, but it resembles a bear, just by the roundness. But yeah, it can survive in space without oxygen, and without an extreme cold.
Okay.
And once it's brought back into a warmer temperature, it instantly wakes up, almost zombie-like. Where it goes into like a deep hibernation when it's in space. They're studying how it's able to do that before we'd be able to use this material for inter-galaxy travel.
Okay. Is the number one problem with humans in space the radiation to the body?
It could definitely play a huge factor in it.
Because when you're in space, it's mainly gamma rays, right? And
Yeah, photons.
photons and gamma rays. Okay, so once we do have this new
Cosmic radiation.
technology, this anti-gravity, I'd like to call it, whatever. And we can go to space, like, are there people that are figuring out how to protect the human that do go into space from this radiation, if there are easier ways to get to space and to travel?
Well, Hamilton Sunstrand in Windsor Locks, Connecticut, has built, at last figures I heard, it was 161 out of like 170 spacesuits.
Okay.
That would be a question better posed to maybe even Siri. She might have the specs.
Okay. We have 10% battery life. We're at 20 minutes. So we're going to go for about 5 more minutes. And then we'll do our 4th video. Would you like to go to space?
How do you do space?
How do you do space?
Um,
Well, I guess we're in space now, right?
So, yes, technically, anything above the ground is in outer space. Just within the atmosphere, but it's still technically outer space.
Right.
Well, I guess it'd be inner space. What was I saying?
Would you ever want to go to space?
What was the question just prior to that?
The question prior to that was how do you do space? You asked that question. Question prior to that was about the space suits. And
The most dangerous part about outer
the
space.
gamma rays.
There are, at the last few years I heard, where there was about 100 teams competing for a NASA prize, and they're designing homes for Mars built out of the materials that you would find on Mars.
Makes sense.
Because you're not going to really be able to bring much on a space flight for construction purposes. It would take you forever.
Right.
So
you aren't under any impression that Mars is already colonized, and you haven't heard of any living species or any living organism, binary or environmental, on Mars?
someone told me that there's spiders up there.
Yeah, I think there's some big spiders, but that's just conspiracy.
There also might be a couple gingers. I mean, it is kind of a red planet.
Right.
They might be hiding in some cracks, like Smeagolish.
But do you think that there is like kind of like a hyper focus on Mars, and that Mars is kind of like a trend almost now, where there are other planets and other planets such as Kepler and other planets that have been found that are seem a lot more easy to colonize versus Mars?
You're talking about a distance issue. Kepler is too far away.
Okay.
To effectively colonize it, and we don't even know if there's life on that planet. We receive the signals of different elements with really scientific calculators, so to speak, computers, I mean.
Oh.
Excuse me. So we can pick up the elements that life needs to even exist. Mars is looked at because it is in the inhabitable zone. And as it does move closer to the sun, the surface could change just like the Earth's has.
Okay. So
It's roughly the same size. They found frozen water, I believe.
yeah.
So there may be organisms on the planet that are alive.
That would be cool. And it would be cool if we could get there.
And they could be underground.
Check it out. Could be underground. Who
There's
knows?
a new rover on Mars right now.
Really?
And it's taking pictures and sending feeds.
I didn't know about that.
So there's a lot of things you don't know.
I know. I've been kind of in a dark hole for 3 years.
We still have experimental airspace at command.
What's that mean?
We're one of, I think, 3 places in the country that has experimental airspace.
Oh, because you have to buy space, right?
No, we can fly anything within our fenced area.
Oh. What's the weirdest thing you've ever flown?
Well, we have unmanned K-Maxes that the insurance companies require us to have a pilot in the seat because it's residential around us.
Mm.
But they're not in control.
You're talking about a drone, right?
A UAT, an unmanned aerial truck.
Okay.
It's
Are
not
these going
weaponized.
into space or?
No, these can lift 6 tons up to 10,000 feet.
Okay. So
Oh.
more for like military purposes?
Logging, mostly.
Logging?
Logging and firefighting.
Yeah, it takes the human aspect out of it, I guess.
And their ability to hover and their narrow-shaped body gives them excellent penetrating power for grabbing water out of small creeks.
Could this drone thing, sorry, K-Max,
It's okay.
be used as the magnet for the anti-gravity systems? To, like, transmit
it's
the
a
energy?
Whole helicopter.
Totally two different things
Right,
trying to
yeah.
merge as one.
We use counter-rotating props.
Oh, okay. Okay, so we're at 26 minutes, so... Is there anything you'd like to say?
Free Tibet.
Free Tibet?